Out here at the apiary today, gonna be doing a little hive inspection. Thought I'd bring you guys along with. Let's check this thing out. Alright guys, we're about to dive into this hive, do a little hive inspection. One of the first things I'm going to do, give them a little puff of smoke here at the front. It's a little bitty one. Let them know that I'm here. Okay. And I will pull out some frames and show you guys what we see here. Now bees make what's called propolis. So every time I inspect the hive, I have to do a little bit of prying in order to get in there. Propolis is a very, very sticky substance that they use to stick things together. So, like right now, I cannot lift this up. Okay, this is stuck on there very good. So I have to pry underneath, and voila. Okay, so let's check out what we've got going on here. So there's a couple different boxes that I have here. I have two what we call deep boxes and two supers, or honey supers. Now the honey supers are what I will end up extracting honey with, or from I should say. Typically the outer frame will have little to no honey on it. Now as you can see, they're already starting to get a little anxious. But on this first hive, this first frame, you can see there's hardly anything in there, okay? They have not worked very much on that one yet. But as we dig in, they will have it more drawn out, is what we call it, more drawn out. So on this frame, you can see that the wax is popping out a little bit more, okay? So here's one that it's barely coming out, and here's one that they've started to draw it out and even put some honey in there. So I will usually only take out the first frame. That way it gives me enough room to work in there. We're going to see how many are full right now. Looks like there's not a whole lot full. Now in this hive, I'll actually go frame by frame because last time I was out here, I found some swarm cells. So I do not want this thing to swarm. So bees like to swarm. That's what they basically live to do, is swarm. So when they swarm, they build up the hive, and basically half the hive leaves. And so as a beekeeper, I need all the bees I can get working to make honey. So this frame here is almost completely full, other than that one little spot there, with honey. So that is what I want them to continue to do. So if I see swarm frames, I have to get rid of those. And if I find one, I'll show you what that is. But we're just gonna keep digging along here, keep going. So it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of honey on this top box, which is good. In this part of the country that I'm in Missouri, good rule of thumb is usually about 4th of July, they will stop making honey. It's just kind of how it goes around here. So we're quickly approaching that time. But I will be out of town, which is a poorly planned vacation for a beekeeper. So I'm checking now just to make sure what I need to do later this week. So now in order to get to the next box down, I've got to pop this box off the top. Okay. Oh. And these boxes are not light. Got a thorn bush wanting to be a pain for me. So I'm going to try to move this down just a smidge. Appreciate you bearing with me on that. Got my phone all sticky. So on this one, again, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now on this hive, I've got 10 that look like they are ready to go. 10 frames. Sometimes you'll get this stuff on top, just some wax. So we will get rid of that, just make it look prettier. All right, let's see if I can get this one off. Now when these things fill up with honey, they get super, super heavy. So the more honey I have in here, the heavier this is gonna be. All right. Now we've gotten to where we've got a good bunch of bees on here. Thank you for bearing with me again. I'm gonna see if I can lower this camera so you guys get a better shot at this. Okay, so gotta get my smoker pumping again. One of the hardest parts about beekeeping is keeping a smoker going. But if I smoke these bees, you'll see that they'll start working their way down into the hive, which is what we want. It's a good idea not to smoke them too much, but when your smoker's not smoking very good, sometimes. Okay, here we go. So on this particular box, I've only got 9 frames. I spread them out though. All right, so I've got myself in a bit of a situation here because I'm right up against this fence. But I'll show you. This frame is full of honey. Okay? Now this is not honey that I will end up taking. This is their honey. So I will not be taking this honey. And I can tell you that these bees are much calmer than the last time I was out here. The last time I was out here, they were going nuts. Another frame of honey, which is funny now that I say that. They are all around me all of a sudden. I'm sure you can hear them buzzing. There we go, they're starting to finally move down a little bit. My smoker just is not putting any fuel out today, which makes things more difficult. Now there's a lot of people that don't even use a smoker when they're out in the hive. I like to have one going because of situations like this. As you can kind of see, the bees are all on the top. It's harder to work the bees when they're on the top of your hive like that. And the more that I disturb them, the more upset they're going to get. Which is why I'm a big proponent of wearing gloves. Okay. So, I'll try to get this so where you guys can see it. So, down here at the bottom, you see these bigger, what we call cells. Now, those are drone cells, the ones that are popping out, which is the male bee. In here, we have capped brood, and over here you can see it as well. Lots of capped brood, which capped brood is baby bees. Now when you're looking at your hive, you don't necessarily have to find the queen. That's not necessarily something that is a huge must, but what you do want to see are eggs, bee eggs, and capped brood, because that lets you know that you do have a queen and she is laying. So again, it's not always important to make sure that you have a queen every single time. You don't always have to locate her, is what I mean by that. Some people get really worked up about making sure they find the queen, and that's not always something that you're going to have to do. So I'm trying to kind of clean this up, make this nicer up here. Let's pull out another frame. Again, I'm looking for swarm cells because I want to make sure that they do not swarm. Okay, so this queen is working. She's doing a great job. I'm sure you can hear the humming sound of the bees really picking up. You can kind of see they are all over my hand, all around me. They are not happy. Imagine somebody coming into your house and taking the roof off. But that's okay, I'm going to put it right back as soon as I'm done. How cool is that, guys? Really neat. I appreciate all you that have been watching the videos. I appreciate those of you that have subscribed. I've not found any swarm cells or queen cells to this point, but that doesn't mean there won't be any coming up here. This hive here, okay, here we go. Where you put your fingers. This is a queen cell or swarm cell. Okay, that means they're preparing to take off, and I don't want that to happen. So when you're handling frames, you always want to be very careful of where you're putting your hands, because you don't want to squish, especially the queen, but you really don't want to squish anybody. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting rid, I'm going to rip out these swarm cells here. And as you can see, they are really pumped now. I'm sure you can hear the buzzing. So all I've cut out here is a bunch of drone comb, okay? And then again, I cut out the bottom, which was a swarm cell. The point of doing that again is to keep them from swarming. I do not want them leaving. This is a very, ow, just got stung on the elbow. That hurt. Okay. Might get a swell on the elbow there. So sometimes in a bee suit, when you start sweating, it sticks to you. But anyway, that's a good looking pattern right there. She's doing a pretty good job. So there, a lot of you have a question, do you ever get stung? And that kind of goes to prove, as a beekeeper, I do get stung with my suit on. So again, if you have a smoker, that does help. filter is not cooperating. Put this frame back in that I took out. It's also funny, during different seasons, bees act in a different way. Right now they're going crazy because we are in the middle of a honey flow. So their only thing right now is to protect this honey that they have collected, okay, and made. They are threatened by us right now. So now I'm going to take a look at the bottom box. Okay. Now you can probably even hear them intensify if that could get any louder. We're going to go ahead and dive in anyway. And the closer I get to this hive, the more I can feel them getting excited. I'm sure there's some of you out there that are really asking yourself, how does this guy do this? That's a great question. Don't ask me. But I think this is awesome. Another sting. Okay, that one's all honey. Laying that frame to the side. Not often, matter of fact, this might be the first time I've ever taken 2 stings during the same visit to a hive. They're extremely agitated. And it's sticky sweaty out here, so. Right now I'm looking down at the bottom of the hive. Try to see if I can see down the bottom. Looks like I might need to change some things up down there. I noticed when I walked up that this hive was tilted back a little bit, which is allowing all this rain that we've been having here lately. It's allowing water to probably sit down there. Typically when they make a swarm or a queen cell, ouch, it is at the bottom of the frame. And I've looked through here and the rest of these are good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the top back on and let these girls calm down. Because that was my 3rd sting, so they're extremely upset. I can say for certain that this is my first time getting 3 out of the same hive sting. Alright, see if I can get this back on. Now when you're putting the box back together, you want to make sure that it's lined up. best that you can. Try to eliminate water from getting in there or unwanted pests or bugs. There we go. Trying to keep the back of my jacket from rising up. As you can see, the inner cover has stuck to the bottom of this box, so that's awesome. Oh, there we go. So although I was able to complete this hive inspection and look at what I wanted to look at, not sure that I would qualify it as a success. I still found what I wanted to, but there was a lot of pain involved between myself, the bees, because I had to work faster. I didn't have my smoker with me. This right here that you see is a great example of why I suggest bringing a smoker. It helps calm them down. They'll still get aggravated, they'll still get upset, but it won't be this bad. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Did not anticipate it going that direction, but hey, it's fun. Beekeeping is something fun, and you got to be ready for anything. Today I've got stung at least 3 times, maybe 4, not quite sure. Very aggressive today. Again, they were trying to protect the honey, so I cannot blame them for that. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already subscribed, I appreciate it if you would. And hit that like button, all that fun YouTube lingo and talk. Take care and God bless. Thanks.